Hello, nesters. It's Diana with Down Home Nesters, and I just put together some random portrait drawings and figure sketches and just things I do in my vast collection of sketchbooks that I have. And so I thought I'd put something together so I could upload here and just show you some of the things that I do sketch. I'll do another one on a lot of the other things that I tend to draw and work on, and even talk about keeping a sketchbook maybe sometime real soon. So this is just doing some hair. I tend to have a sketchbook with me most of the time, and I could do stuff out of my imagination or what I'm looking at. Most of the time I sketch in church. I sketch in a lot of the worship services and what have you. Um, there's some kind of a study that people who doodle or sketch or draw in any manner during a meeting or at a service, whatever, retains 20% more than other people do. So, sketching and doodling is, you know, uh, sure makes you hold a lot more in, I think. But yeah, so I can just throw some keys on the table, sketch shoes, sketch people around me, photos out of a book, things off of the internet. You know, if you're not selling it, you can always sketch whatever you'd like to. Um, you know, these are out of a book about drawing the human head and human figure. So some of these items through this one. I did this cover. I just glued a lot of different papers that I had ripped up and glued it on there to make cover up the just typical black cover of this sketchbook. And then I prepped these pages with gesso. And a lot of times I'll just do slop and drop and paint and what have you, ink or anything for the backgrounds. That's in colored pencil. And then that's my first self-portrait. These are just out of a book about drawing, and I just started going through the pages and drawing in this sketchbook, just doing different poses and so on to try to get some of the figures down. It's a great way to study. This was in a prayer room. I did a lot of things with that. I was part of the art department there. And then these are just out of books or just dancers and different things I'd look at. That was from, actually I did a painting with this angel in it. So this was kind of a study of that angel, the statue. And here's a different one. There's a 100 head challenge where you, I think it's in 30 days, do 100 heads. And I fizzled out per usual, but at least I got a good start. That's a friend of mine. That's in progress. I have a long way to go on it, but a girlfriend doing baby wearing, which I love, love, love. And just a few other things that are in my sketchbook, one of the many. See, I'll do little squares, and then you don't feel like you have to do such big works in them. And sitting across from my hubby at dinner one time, and it's just always fun to have these things with you. On the left, it was these people, they wore the old costumes and rode old bikes in the park, and it was so fun to be there and capture that. This was just at a church service. This was my first attempt at pastels, and I had fun. I had a lot of people over at my house. I'll have just little sketch-ins and paint-ins, and that was the person sitting next to me in church. That one's called My Beloved. That one is just a random, I think it was off the top of my head. That's Jesus smiling over us. He delights in us. And this, coming soon, I'm going to have more art demos. I'm going to have live chats. So follow me at, subscribe. Please hit the subscribe below. And like this video if you do like it. This is in colored pencils. I started to do a lot of colored pencils a few years ago, and I've just loved them. That was my son playing guitar and my grandkids, 2 of them. My mother at the beach. I love that, her trying on this mask and capturing her eyes. Such beautiful eyes. That's my beautiful niece also. One of her many hair colors. I love all her changes. That one is Forget Me Not. It's a Haitian orphan. And here I was just, I did a series of these were ripped out of a sketchbook, but I was just doing colored pencils because I was trying to just teach myself some different techniques. And I just love doing colored pencils. Oil paints are my favorite. And coming up here, these are on canvas, but they're quick sketches. These are like 2-hour sketches that I did. And they're in oil paints. So they're like heirloom portraits, but just quick sketches of them. And then up here, I took a class. Oh, first we'll see Tim. And but this one coming up is a sketch that I did online. David Darrow is an amazing artist, and he had a class online. I did that with him. And this is on canvas, just a free piece of canvas, and I did a portrait sketch on there for a class one night. That was this is in colored pencil, the top one. I think the bottom might be in chalk and graphite. But getting the eyes right on a portrait, I always do eyes first. Because if you can get the eye, oh yeah, I've got an oil stain on here, sugar. If you get the eyes right, you have got the personality of the person a lot more. That poor little lady, her first birthday, she had a cold and she was miserable. A true Chiefs fan. Go Patrick Mahomes, huh? This is after Cesar Santos. He has some YouTube videos and you'd love them. He's a phenomenal artist, and I did this. We're looking at one of his sketchbooks. And this is a gal at our church, beautiful Jess. And I had a lot of fun. I got a lot of white paint over there in the corner. Mrs. Kev from Kev on Stage. That was fun to do. That's colored pencil. There's some I have coming up. And really, that's about it for some of the sketches for portraits. If you like the video, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. We'll have so many sketchbook flip-throughs coming up, some art demos, and I always love to have the live chat. So if you hit that little bell, you'll be notified when I go live. And if you have any suggestions of drawings or lessons or anything else you'd like to see put up, just comment below. And until then, thanks so much for coming and sticking this out. It's fun. I'm getting used to the YouTube now. So subscribe, come back, see us again.